Presentation 1. Progress made by the 5 project components. Component 1. Institutional strengthening and updating for improved sustainable IWRM. Have 5 active outputs. The first output is environmental flow monitoring in the subbasins of Alijan Chai and Shamkir Chai in Azerbaijan and the UNDP River Basin in Georgia. National teams are collecting data on hydrology, geomorphology, ecology, physiochemical parameters, and socioeconomic parameters. The 8th round of field surveys was completed in March 2020. Between June 2019 and May 2020, the project has produced the following deliverables: field mission reports for surveys undertaken so far, midterm reports on the implementation of the holistic methodology in calculating the environmental flows after the 4th field campaign, and national semi-final reports after the end of the 8th field campaign. This work is ongoing. The second output is rational water use regulation and flood risk maps. In 2019 and 2020, the project focus was on developing guidelines for conjunctive use of groundwater and surface water resources. The project also focused during this period on flood risk mapping at the national levels and recommended instruments needed to reduce the risk of losses due to floods at the national and regional levels. Between June 2019 and May 2020, the project has completed the following deliverables: national level recommendations for ground and surface water conjunctive use based on Output 5.1 and lessons learned by May 2020. 2 national reports on flood risk management and measures to be taken harmonize with the EU Floods Directive, and presented the main outcomes and recommendation of the National Report for the Assessment of Available Water Resources in Azerbaijan, His Excellency the Minister of Ecology and Natural Resources, and His Excellency the Minister of Agriculture in Azerbaijan. The third output was moved to the EUWI Plus project in 2018 by the Steering Committee decision and is inactive. Output is the development of pollution abatement plans. Between June 2019 and May 2020, the project, with international and national experts, has produced the following deliverables: national reports on main polluting sectors in each country, the current permitting and inspection mechanisms, and gaps in the current capacities in permitting and inspection, and the recommendations to strengthen the permitting and inspections for point source pollution. Final pollution abatement and compliance action plans working with key polluting sectors in each country, slaughterhouses and tanneries in Azerbaijan, and pollution in slaughterhouses in Georgia, and reports on green alternatives, cleaner production mechanisms for pollution abatement. 5th output is support to national and regional project advisory groups. The 2 national intersectoral project advisory groups and Regional Project Advisory Group and Regional Working Groups were held in the past year. The Regional Working Group met in November 2019 in Galati, Azerbaijan, to discuss the future of transboundary cooperation and coordination opportunities. The 3-day meeting was held with over 40 regional representatives. It was agreed at that meeting that there are significant benefits for extending cooperation, even if the UNECE bilateral agreement for the Kura Basin between Azerbaijan and Georgia cannot be signed by both countries at this time. In lieu of this, participants from both countries suggested the possibility of building cooperation based on existing agreements, such as the WMO Agreement on Meteorological Data Exchange, and the 1997 agreement between the governments of Georgia and Azerbaijan on cooperation in the field of environmental protection, focusing on mutual care of shared natural resources. This is currently being explored by national experts familiar with these agreements. In February 2020, the Regional Working Group on Ground and Surface Water Assessment was held in Baku. The Regional Working Group on Shared Water Quality Indicators had to be postponed until April 2020 and was held virtually. An agreement was reached on data sharing and transboundary water quality analysis mechanisms by both Azerbaijan Hydromet and Georgia's National Environment Agency, facilitated by the UNDP-GEF Kura Project. The sixth output, Advancing Green Technologies with the Private Sector. In 2019, the Kura River H2O Tel Awards was initiated and launched with the International Tourism Partnership. Working with the Georgia Tourism Awards and Azerbaijan Tourism Association, the project promoted, held trainings, and presented awards to hotels for implementing water-saving measures. The second project component is capacity building for professional water managers across multiple sectors. The first output is capacity building training for IWRM professionals. Between May 2019 and May 2020, the project continued our series of trainings on various topics for water management experts, including hydrological modeling, river basin ecology, laboratory quality management, and ecosystem modeling for water resource management. In the past year, the project conducted 10 training blocks in these IWRM topics. Each block consists of 2-day trainings in each country in national languages. Total number of participants attended by these training blocks for this period was 157 individual participants, 101 from Georgia, and 56 participants from Azerbaijan. The trainees in Azerbaijan were 51% male, 49% female, while in Georgia they were 35% male and 65% female. We have produced training materials with baseline, midpoint, and final assessments of the impacts for all 10 training blocks, and certificates were awarded to participants who successfully completed the trainings. Output 2.2 on the EU River Basin Management Organizations is being done by the EU Water Initiative Plus project as per the direction of the 2018 Project Steering Committee meeting. Output 2.3, Strengthen Capacity for Enforcement of Water Resource Protection Laws and Regulations. In the past year, we offered selected participants from both the permitting and law enforcement departments in each country courses in water law enforcement and in cleaner production and pollution abatement plans, with all training materials, impact assessment for all 6 training blocks, and certificates of successful completion awarded to participants. Output 2.4, Strengthen Capacity for Information Management, Data Analysis for Enhanced IWRM Decision-Making Support. In early 2019, it was originally planned that the international expert would conduct extended on-the-job trainings for selected professionals from focal point and key ministries with the support of the project team on the development of a DSS decision support system and data and information needs. However, the project stakeholders, specifically lead water management experts in both countries, felt that the decision support system would not be suitable due to the lack of reliable information and data at this time. As a result, the project team elected to focus on training for the use of GIS and remote sensing techniques for water management. National GIS experts were contracted and conducted this training in 3 blocks in June, September, and October of 2019. In the past year, the project has produced capacity building strategies with priority information needs and modeling approaches, and for GIS and remote sensing techniques for water management, training materials and impact assessments, and certificates for successful completion. Our third component is demonstration projects. The first output is to showcase technologies to reduce factual water losses in different sectors. In both Azerbaijan and Georgia, the project has installed equipment for the demonstration of drip irrigation systems, begun monitoring use and crop production levels, and conducted trainings for farmers on this approach. Formal openings of these have been held at the Amelioration Training Center in Satli, Azerbaijan, and in Kakheti, Georgia, with the support of the focal ministries and UNDP country offices.
It's 4 o'clock.
In Georgia, the Rational Water Use for Municipal Water Demonstration Project is being conducted in Gori City. The NGO Environment and Development, ED, has conducted awareness-raising efforts in Gori, working with local schools, Ministry of Education, local authorities, community members, and stakeholders. They are coordinating closely with United Water Supply Company of Georgia. The work there has proceeded well, with a first round of trainings of teachers for 10 public schools to teach the Kura box, and 5 themed brochures for 3 age groups. Teacher training lessons, school lessons, and student activities were developed by ED. Due to COVID-19, this work has now gone viral. In Azerbaijan, in collaboration with the NGO IDEA and Azersu Municipal Water Company, the project is developing a mobile phone app to report municipal water leaks to Azersu and its regional offices, to be known as the Hydro Heroes app. This mobile application will also feature educational games and information about water resource management, and will include augmented reality for mobile devices based on the Kura Box educational toolkit. Due to the reduced cost of the demonstration project for rational water use in the agriculture sector in Azerbaijan, the project with the NGO IDEA will co-implement a pilot project on the use of aquaponic systems for fish and agricultural production. This approach allows farmers to grow both vegetable crops and fish for human consumption that will use only 20% of the water that is used in traditional agriculture. The partnership with IDEA will allow the Kura II project to purchase and install the equipment for this aquaponic system in the premises of IDEA Animal Care Center, and after the initial trainings, IDEA will continue outreach for the country and the region. The second output, conducting pre-feasibility studies for selected projects identified in the pollution abatement plans. The project international experts on law enforcement and on industrial and municipal sewage pollution abatement worked with key local and national stakeholders and national firms to develop pre-feasibility studies for one major polluting hotspot facility in each country. These are the Lachin Tannery in Azerbaijan and Poultry Georgia in Georgia. The project experts conducted an environmental audit and detailed assessment for these 2 facilities to identify the drawbacks in the production process and the sources of water pollution along this process, and developed pollution abatement plans applying the concepts of cleaner production mechanisms for each facility using best available technology and best available environmental practices. The international expert for environmental economics provided economic assessments of these plans, and the project developed pre-feasibility studies for each facility that can be used to attract financing agencies. These also developed guidelines for the sectoral pollution abatement plans for the main polluting sectors in each country. The third output, river restoration projects for improved ecosystem health using integrated flow management. In November 2019, a contract was awarded by UNDP-IRH to the local company TTT Inshot to build a constructed wetlands next to the Baby Hajigabal Lake near Shirvan, Azerbaijan. Construction is underway for engineered or constructed wetlands to treat raw sewage flowing from approximately 200 households before it goes into the lake as an example of low-cost nature-based solutions. This work is taking place in close collaboration with local stakeholders, competent authorities, and appropriate ministerial representatives. All earthworks will have been finished for the wetland, main basin, and the lining of this basin will resume shortly. The community of Surami in Georgia was selected to be the location for the river restoration site. There was strong support for the suggestion by local authorities, the governorate, and the Ministry of Environment Protection and Agriculture. In December, we were notified that the Ministry for Regional Development and Infrastructure in Georgia was undertaking a master plan development for Surami, which included the area under consideration for the constructed wetland. Therefore, in early 2020, as an alternative river restoration project was sought by the project and the ministry. Fortunately, the ministry in Georgia had just authorized the National Wildlife Agency of Georgia to undertake restoration of the Oxbow Lakes in Kurtsinisi Park, located between Tbilisi and Rustavi along the banks of the Kura River. The floodplain forest is suffering from a lack of floodwater due to the lowering of the riverbed from extensive gravel mining activities upstream of the site for at least a century. A detailed master plan has been developed for the park, and it is fully under the authority of the Ministry of Environment Protection and Agriculture. The project will support installing solar-powered pump stations and intake structures to pump water from the Kura River to the floodplain to fill the Oxbow Lakes and irrigate the floodplain forest and recirculating water back to the river. We will also support reconstruction of fish farms for indigenous species to be part of the park. The fourth component focuses on stakeholder engagement and awareness raising. The first output involves training a team of professional IWRM trainers to work with stakeholders and training stakeholders. In 2019, these trainings have continued, including the training of farmers and water user associations who were trained through the Drip Irrigation Demonstration Project. Additional trainings in both Azerbaijan and Georgia included NGOs, women's groups, youth, teachers, local communities, all about water conservation and protection. All documentation of these trainings is ongoing. The second output involves annual academic IWRM conferences. In 2019, the Kura project conducted trainings for the IWRM master's students on ongoing water nexus trainings in Georgia and Azerbaijan. In May 2020, we held an online academic conference for the IWRM master's students from Baku State University and Tbilisi State University to discuss regional water management issues for the Kura Basin. The third output, empowering social marketing campaigns to improve impacted stakeholders' understanding of their role in water management. The social marketing campaigns are being linked to our water conservation demonstration project work and are now being upscaled to wider national and regional audiences. Between June 2019 and May 2020, the project has produced the following deliverables: social marketing campaign plans for targeted groups, children's art contest about water management awards, draft comic books for distribution to stakeholders post-COVID-19 and online distribution as soon as completed and approved, public awareness raising videos for national distribution, and we have populated the social media fora, including project webpage in national languages, the project Facebook page, project Instagram accounts, and created a project YouTube channel. Is local competitions and regional showcasing of local stakeholder innovations for climate change adaptation related to water. In 2019, these were developed by the project to be upscaled based on the initial testing results. The H2O TEL awards training were undertaken, and the first round of awards were made in collaboration with the national tourism authorities. The Innovation for Development, the Hydro Heroes mobile app for municipal water leak reporting, was discussed as it's being used in Output 3.1. The fifth output is project involvement in the GEF International Waters Learning Exchange and Resource Network, IWLearn. In 2019 and through 2020, the project has continued to remain active in the IWLearn community. The Kura II project was selected to participate in the 2020 IWLearn 6 project preparation stakeholder consultations. Additionally, the CTA of the Kura project attended the International River Symposium in Brisbane, Australia in November 2019 to present the Kura project as representing best practices for the GEF International Waters Transboundary Diagnostic Analysis and SAP Strategic Action Plan methodology. The fifth project component is enhancing science for governance by strengthening monitoring, information management, and data analysis systems for IWRM. The first output is improved assessment of geographic distribution of ground and surface water availability and seasonal fluctuations. In 2019, the project initiated the purchase of an online groundwater monitoring system with additional support from the International Groundwater Resource Assessment Center, IGRAC, under UNESCO. The online monitoring system will install 6 monitoring stations, 3 stations in each country in the Alazani-Ghanic aquifer system to facilitate improved groundwater monitoring. These 6 stations will have measuring sensors for water level, water flow meters, water temperature, total dissolved solids, electrical conductivity, and pH. The stations will be connected to a data collection platform, one in Georgia and one in Azerbaijan, to collect and present the online data automatically. An Italian company was selected to install the system in early 2020. However, due to COVID-19 restrictions, the work in installing this network was put on hold and will be resumed immediately after the relief of these restrictions. Also, with the support of IGRAC and 2 national experts, a regional report was developed on the assessment of groundwater in the Alazani-Yori transboundary aquifer and the main challenges facing proper management of that aquifer. A 2-day regional training was conducted in the project PCU office in Baku on October 2019 with the support of IGRAC international experts on groundwater monitoring and management. This training was attended by national experts from both countries. Additionally, 3 training blocks in hydrological modeling was completed in early 2020 to build on the national capacities in the use of the modeling tools in supporting the planning and management of the available water resources in the basin. The second output is an assessment of the economic and social benefits per unit of water used in the different sectors. This year, the international water economics expert conducted trainings on the use of how economic models for water resources management work. This was held in 3 blocks to train how to use the WEEP model, one of the most widely used economic models developed by the World Bank. The expert also developed a report on the cost per unit of water in each of the water consumption sectors: agriculture, municipal, and hydropower. In addition, at the request of the Ministry of Environment Protection and Agriculture in Georgia, the expert provided support in the development of the National Water Tariff System for Georgia Amelioration Department of the ministry. The expert also conducted an economic assessment for the pollution abatement plans for the main hotspot facilities in each country and developed cost-benefit analysis of the proposed interventions in each facility. This assessment has been added to the pre-feasibility study report for each hotspot facility. The third output of Component 5 is staged river system ecological assessment programs. In 2019 and 2020, national experts working with the Environmental Flow Team to collect information to populate the database for endemic species of the riverine biota indigenous to the Kura Basin. These experts will produce the final information for the database in November 2020 for the Aragvi Basin in Georgia and the Shamkir Chai and Alijan Chai in Azerbaijan. 2 reports were developed on the updated version of the River Basin classification structure in line with the EU Water Framework Directive, and the 2-year plan for the Kura River Basin Ecological Assessment is underway. The fourth output of Component 5 is protocols in place to support data and information exchange. As mentioned in Output 1.5, these regional working groups continue to meet. 4 training blocks in the application of the International Standards Organization 17025, also known as ISO 17025, and the sampling and laboratory analysis were conducted for the laboratory specialists in the 2 countries. These trainings were focused on building harmonization of the sampling and laboratory analysis of the agreed set of shared water quality indicators to be in line with the ISO 17025. In September 2020, the project supported the 2-country laboratories in continuing conducting the monitoring plans for the agreed set of shared water quality indicators and the exchange of the results between them. In April 2020, it was agreed that the project will produce periodic reports on the results of monitoring these shared indicators to be shared between the 2 countries. Exchange of expertise, trainings on sampling and laboratory analysis of phenols was done by the Azerbaijani expert for the National Environment Agency staff and colleagues in Georgia. Working with the international expert on water quality standards, the project has produced a final report summarizing the main results obtained from implementing the capacity building plan and recommendations for future work for ISO 17025 implementation in Azerbaijan and Georgia. Quality assurance and quality control and proficiency test mechanisms for supporting both countries, Azerbaijan and Georgia, for the implementation of the ISO 17025, and the work plan to continue monitoring the shared water quality indicators and selected sites until the end of 2020.